Sup peeps, my name's Ian, I sell books on eBay, and this is day 5 I think, yeah 5th of January, so it must be day 5. I'm going to lose track of that as the days go on, but hey, we're here now anyway. Today, Sunday the 5th of January, I think I've got about only 9 orders going out from yesterday through this morning. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's not the morning anymore, but a couple of them are quite nice, a few bundles, some media, just the usual. I'll show you what it is anyway. And this morning I've also been out and picked up about 400 books, there or thereabouts. Paid 95 quid, so it's about 400 books I've got. I've been through those and had a wee sort at them, so I'm going to show you some of the things I look for when I'm going through the pickups to try and make back the money that I've spent as quickly as possible, and then the rest's all the bread and butter that just gets piled up behind that. But first we'll have a wee look at the orders that are going out, and the very first one of those is the 5th film by Quentin Tarantino, Death Proof. A nice wee special edition DVD of that one, so 2 fancy looking discs. All the rest of it, that went for £7.99. DVDs, know what I'm saying? From the thumbnail we have 20 kids picture books. I find that a lot of charity shops really struggle to sell these. If people come in with their kids, they'll let their kids sit and read the books whilst they have a browse, but they don't actually sell an awful lot of them, so they're quite easy to pick up for a good price. You'll notice yourselves more than likely that a lot of charity shops sell them really cheap. So that's 20 plus kids books. Make a bundle of 20, chuck in a couple of extra just to keep it fresh. £24.99 for the 20 of those. So again, cheap to pick up. You know, if I'm paying 10 pence a book, that's cost me like £2.50, and you turn it into 25 quid. It's a big parcel, so you know, £6-7 to post it, but still, I found it's quite worthwhile. I've sold quite a few of those. Another DVD. This time it is Shelley Long in Troop, Beverly Hills. Never heard of it, don't know what it is, but it's one of those that when I pick them up, because it's something I've never seen, it looks a wee bit vintage of interest. So scan them, see what they're worth, and that wasn't worth selling on its own. Not big money, but £5.37 that it sold for. Right. Oh, this was a good one. This was the big sale of the day. We've got Strangeland by Tracy Emin. Art books, anything that's a wee bit different or special. There's a wee turned corner on that page, let's just fix that. Yeah, anything that looks a little bit different or a little bit specialist, I'll always pick it up. 9 times out of 10 they're £3 books, there's nothing special about them, but every now and again you find one that is a little bit more, and this is one of those. £42 that sold for, so 42 quid. Heading off to Maureen tomorrow morning. So yeah, that was a good one. First print, first edition. A lot of these books don't go much beyond that first print, first edition, but it's always worth including that in your title when you're selling anything, just so people know exactly what they're getting. Then we have another anonymous Patterson packet. So 5 James Patterson Alex Cross books. What have we got? Crisscross, People versus Alex Cross, Cross Down, Triple Cross, Cross My Heart. So 5 of those, £10.99. I had a couple of those particular bundles made up, so that's one of them gone. The James Patterson books always sell quite well. You don't make a lot of money on them, you find them everywhere, but he's one of the most popular authors on the planet, so therefore a lot of people want his books. It's one of these things you look at it and think, but they're everywhere, why would anybody want to buy them? Because they're everywhere, they're incredibly popular, people want them, therefore you should sell them. Anywho, we've got 4 Stephen King Dark Tower books. Gunslinger, Song of Susanna, The Dark Tower, Wolves of Calla, and the 4 of them have gone for £12.99, so just a kind of normal paperback bundle. Followed by another little single book, which is Ian M. Banks' Accession, and that's gone for £6.99. I didn't realise I had so many copies of that, but I do. Right, couple more orders. then we'll go and find the interesting pickups. I've got another DVD. It is an 8-disc set. Naruto Shippuden Series 2 complete DVD, 2012, 1999. So one of those box sets that you see and you know it's probably going to sell for a reasonable amount of money. And finally, this is a big book, so I need to double check its dimensions. I've got a feeling that it won't actually go as a small parcel. Let's just see. 30, oh no, just under 40 centimetres, so it will go as a small parcel. And it is the 1960s scrapbook. There we go. I've had this for a few months. Again, it's one to pick it up. It's big, it's bright, it's colourful. It's got that nostalgic thing going for it. And the graphics in it are quite fantastic. Everything from sweets to toys, movies, it's TV, it's all there. And yes, that is sold for $13.99. So not a huge number of sales, but all quite nice sales. The Tracy Emin book obviously, you know, bumped up the day's totals. That worked very nicely. According to eBay, that's about £145 worth of orders, so maybe 50 quid profit, there or thereabouts. So let's say not massive, but the effort involved in getting that all picked, packed and shipped is infinitesimal. It's tiny, so it is well worth dealing with those things as they go. Right, I'm going to pack these up, clear some space, and then I'll go and grab some of the stuff that I've picked up today and show you some of that. Packing done. Slightly out of breath from carrying all that lot upstairs. Yeah, packing done, and now I've brought up the pics of what I picked up today, and my son's shouting on me. Well, that was worth the interruption. You wanted to tell me a joke. Fair enough. Which you wouldn't get unless you were local, so there's no point telling it to anyone else. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I've just had a wee kerching on my eBay. I'll just have to hope that it's actually something that's been bought. Ooh, it is. An Anne Rice book. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here to say what I was picking up. So, about 400 books. It's an approximation. 2 different places picking up today. One, it's just kind of like, take what I've got and give them a few quid. And the other one, it's, you know, more of a pick. That's where I get the most of them from, to be honest. But I've kind of split the good stuff into 3-4 different categories, just to show you what I keep my eyes open for when I'm going through stuff, so that I get an idea that it will be worth my while paying money for what I'm collecting. What I ain't got here to show you is 3 bags, 3 of those, jammed full of my bread and butter, you know, my Ian Rankin, Linda LaPlante, David Williams, Val McDermott, Stuart McBride, all of that stuff. But it's just stuff that's going to go into already existing kind of listings with books by those authors. So like kind of 3, about 3. I've got 2 full and then a whole load stacked on top. So I think it's about 3 bags of that. So get about 50 a bag. It's approximations, so probably about 150 books just to go into those generic listings, and they'll all go in for about £3 each. So that's 150 quid profit from that lot, but a lot of that will be slow sell. But it covers the £95 investment that I have made today. But what I look for to make sure that I've got that covered are things that I can sell individually, or kind of pre-made bundles and sets. The other stuff I pick up is obviously a stack of things for just, you know, I maybe got 50, 60 kids books, a stack of just generic thrillers, not bad thrillers, but just generic thrillers where the authors don't have enough to justify having bundles by them, or, you know, just those ones. Women's fiction, historical fiction, things like that I do just sell in, you know, 20 books for 25 quid. So a few of them, my 3 big blue bags of my bread and butter, and this lot, which I'm pointing at, but you can't see. So, category 1. Now this is not the order I look at them. I go through every book and stick it into a pile. Stuff that I want to scan individually and see if it is worth anything. More often than not, it's not, and it goes into my kind of generic bundle. But some of them are. So, you know, everything that goes into that pile will be stuff that is in a set, you know, by the same author, same series, whatever it might be. So any of those, pick them up, keep them separate. Anything that's a bit fancy looking, so a kind of special interest, special edition type books, regardless of genre, fiction, non-fiction, whatever they might be, I'll grab them and scan them just to make sure. Then I look for kind of vintage, antiquarian type books. A lot of those aren't worth jack. Older books, you know, there's no interest in them. They are old books and it's fantastic they've survived that long, but there's very little interest in a lot of them. So typically it's more kind of it's paperbacks, 50s, 60s, 70s paperbacks. Hardcovers as well of popular fiction if you can find them, but for the most part it's the paperbacks, those. And then those that I have sold before and know are quick sellers, even if they're not particularly high value. I know they're worth listing by themselves and getting going, which is where we're going to start, because I've mentioned this many times. Donna Tartt, The Secret History. You always get a few quid for Donna Tartt, The Secret History. I think the last one sold for like £8.99 for the paperback. So that's what this will get listed for, and I would expect it to sell very quickly. So keep a running total in your head, because I'm not going to add this up, but like, you know, a £5 back just on that one. So we've got £90 to find. And the other book that fitted in with that one is a Biggles collection, so Biggles World War II collection, and at the moment I think this sells for about a tenner, there or thereabouts. So let's just say it's another £5 back out of that lot, so we now need to find another 85. So nice hardcover Biggles collection, books that sell reasonably well even though they're not huge money. Right, next, new books. Always looking for new books, and today we found two of them. We've got the latest Rankin and the latest Grisham, Communal Ghosts and Midnight in Blue. So there's always a kind of short window when these start appearing on the shelves after Christmas, which is typically when they start appearing on the shelves. If you can pick them up, instead of them selling for £3 or £4 each, you might get £6 or £7 each for them. So it's a wee bit better. They can be worth listing by themselves. Because they're so recent, they're much more likely to be first editions, first print, first editions I should say. So you can add that to the listing and it just gives it a little bit more. So yeah, both first print, first editions, probably get about £8 each for those. So let's just call it another £5 for the two in profit. So that's us looking for 80 quid. We need to find another £80 out of the rest of these kind of special bundles that I've got. Right, next, let's have a look at the bundles. So now none of these I think are going to be particularly valuable, but they're all stuff that typically sells when you can put them up as a set. So we've got Angie Thomas, so The Hate You Give, Thug. That's the one that's known by most, but we've also got Concrete Rose and I'm on the Come Up, just On the Come Up. So we've got those three books by Angie Thomas, and they'll probably go for like £8-9, something like that, maybe a tenner, but again, let's just say it's another £5 into the pot, so we're down to 75. Put them there. Next, kind of similar but completely different, we've got Sally Green's Half Bad trilogy. So Half Bad, it's got a double-sided cover, and then Half Wild and Half Lost. I've sold these a couple of times in the past, not recently mind, but I have sold them a couple of times, and you're looking at it like, you know, again, maybe a tenner for the three books. They're all in really good condition, so that might help, but yeah, about a tenner. So let's see, another £5 into the pot. All things being equal, call me Ange, all things being equal. So what's that, about 70 quid we're down to? Yeah, about £70 I've still got to find. So next bundle, Raymond E. Feast. Anyway, it's the Serpent War Saga, volumes 1 to 4, which I think is the complete set. They're in good condition. Not great, but they're in good condition. They've definitely been, you know, loved read books, but they're not faded. It's the original covers and graphics on them, which are always nice. And these could be anything up to, you know, maybe 18, 19, 20 quid. But I'm going to say let's put another tenner profit back in based on those. And this is all pure estimation. It could take months even for these to sell, although they tend to go quite quickly. But we take another tenner, we're now looking for another 60 quid before we have broken even, just based on these kind of more specially books. So next lot, Point Horror. These sell well when you bundle them up. There's one in here which is a more popular book, and that's Diane Ho's The Train. So that can sell on its own for 7-8 quid, although in this instance it is also the tattiest of the lot, so I'm not considering it that way. I'm just going to say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 3, so kind of 20 quid for the bundle is what I will hope to get. So another tenner, and that takes us down to 50 quid we're looking for. So, you know, we're nearly halfway there, and we're going to go over the halfway line with Karen M. McManus. These three. Now I'm a bit annoyed with myself because the first place I went into, they had the latest one in hardcover, but I want 2 quid for it. I thought, no, I never find complete sets of that. Find those two all the time, never find that one. So I thought, no, I'm not going to bother, I'll just leave it. And then the next place I went into, straight away got all 3 of them. So if I'm back out that way in the next couple of days, I'll pop back in and see if they've still got it, and then list it as a set of 4, because it's the latest book in hardcover, it's a new release, and it would certainly oomph up what's there. But it, on its own, £2, I wasn't going to make any money. I'd maybe make 50p if I was lucky, if really lucky. So I hadn't bothered, but now I will see if I can get back and get it, because it will increase the value of these 3 on their own. Get a tenner for them anyway. So for now, we'll say that's another £5. If I add in the other book, probably get about 15 for the set of 4. So I'd be making, you know, £8 profit on it, because I wouldn't have additional postage to pay just to ship out that hardcover by itself. Hope that makes sense. But that's us down to 45 quid we need to find. So let's look at our next lot, which is our kind of specialisty books. The Complete Chronicles of Narnia. It's a bit dusty. I'm going to give this one a bit of a clean, make sure that the spine's all squared up. It does have one little tear on it there. In really good condition, you can get 15 quid for that easily. So I'm just going to assume I'll get about a tenner. It's less than 2 kilos, even though it looks like it should be more. So if I get a tenner, that's another £5. So we'll what, do to 40 quid. So getting closer and closer all the time. Another one, a nice box set, Alice and Alice Through the Looking Glass. Again, really good condition, really nice books, and about £15, so 10 to 15. That one I think is over the 2 kilos. It just feels like it might be slightly above. Well, on its own, 1995. So I've got 5 grams to get it wrapped, protected and shipped. So I'm going to take that as being over 2 kilos. So if I sell it for 15, again, it's about £5 profit, because the postage is that much more expensive. So what's that, about 35 we're down to? I think. I lose track as well. So next we shall look at, well, they're still kind of specialist books, to be honest. We have a lovely book, Catholic Dictionary, Addis and Arnold's. This is from 1955. I think it's the 15th edition. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 15th edition, Addis and Arnold's Catholic Dictionary, sells for about 25 quid. So there's about £15 profit in that. But this will be long tail, these never sell quick, but they do always sell. But I could be sitting on it for a good few months. So, but another 15 quid. So we are now looking for £15 profit from the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items to show you from this lot. And the first of those is the Oxford Library of Words and Phrases, volumes 1 to 3, quotations, proverbs and word origins. This is a lovely book. It's a nice set. It's a nice decorative set. It's the kind of thing that people get as gifts and it sits on their shelf and they never actually use it. But it is a nice set, and again, it can go for about 15 quid. So I'm just going to say another fiver's profit. So we're looking for a tenner. Can we find a tenner? We can. Horton Hatches the Egg. First edition, first UK edition I should say. It was printed in the US long before it was here. So yeah, 1940 in the States, first published Great Britain 1962. So this is the first edition. It's in quite good condition. It appears to be an ex-library book. It cost 13 shillings. So it's got the protective cover on it that you would expect from library books, but it also means that it's been a bit cut and chopped on the inside cover, and that appears to have stuck to the hard case. Oh no, it's actually not. It looks, it's coming out. Has it been folded? No, so it's just a trimmed one. It's not an expensive book, you know, £15 in good condition. So somewhere between 10 and 15 quid I'll get for that. So I'm just going to call it another fiver. These numbers are all very, very, very approximate, but about another £5 profit, which means we need a fiver. Let's go with The Day of the Jackal by Freddie Forsyth. Popular at the moment because of the TV programme starring Professor Dumbledore's little pal, Eddie something in it, I can never remember his name. This is a reprint, it's not a first print of that one. We're in 1979, so it was first published in 71, this is the 1979 edition. But it's a couple of quid more than a usual book, so instead of it being like £1 profit, it might be £2 or £3 profit. The Day of the Jackal by Frederick Forsyth. So I'm not going to count that into the total at the moment. Instead, I'm going to show you A Man Called Horse. So the Richard Harris movie. This was previously published as Indian Country. I'm assuming they changed it because the film came out, by Dorothy M. Johnson. 60 pence it initially cost. So I'm going to get more than that out of it. It's in quite good condition for the age. 1976. Yes, so I think this is the first print of the Corgi edition. Yes, from 1976. So again, I think that is about, wait a minute, let's just double check, because there was one of these that was worth a wee bit more than the others, so I just need to make sure I've looked up the right one. Yeah, kind of 10 to 15 quid, thereabouts. So I'm going to say between that and the Jackal, let's take another £5 profit. So that's us broken even with those kind of singled out books. So once they've all sold, the profit from that should be about £95, which covers my entire purchase for everything that I've got. But I've still got 3 things to show you. So let's have a look at them. We've got Catherine Cookson's The Cinder Path. So this is an old Book Club Associates edition. So Book Club Associates, Guild Publishing, they're book clubs you join. They send you books out every month, whatever it is. It's been on for a long, long time. This is from 1978. So, you know, if it says Book Club Associates, it's a BCA book. Older BCA books are more typically the same format as the original publications. More recent, and by that I mean from like the 90s onwards at least, they're smaller edition hardcovers usually, but we've got a nice wee BCA edition of this one here, and that can sell for anything up to 25 quid, you know. So I'm going to say it'll maybe go for 15, and that would give us like about a £10 profit. So £10 up after that book there. And then we have, this is my favourite find of the day, Killing Floor by Lee Child. First print, first edition paperback of Killing Floor, published in 1998. So Bantam Press edition, 1997, so that was the hardcover. 1998 is when this paperback came out, and this is the first print of that book, which gives it a wee bit of value. Lee Child continues to be popular, and especially his earlier books, and you know, the early editions of them are a lot more popular, and this looks like it can sell for anything between £30 and £50. How quickly that might happen, I don't know, but let's say 20 quid profit off of that one there. So that's us £30 up just from this selection. Last one. Are you ready? Now, it's nice when you find one book, the Tracy Emin book that I sold earlier on. Nice, one book, it's small, it's easy to package, it's easy to list, and you make a decent profit. This is the opposite. Oof. That is one collection. It weighs, let's just double check this, there's an average size one there, so about 500 grams each. There's 36 of them, so that's about 18 kilos in there. So it's a 20 kilo ship, which means it's going to be £10–12 to get it posted, depending on how I do it. Maybe send it DPD, £7, you know. So it's a big shipping one, but what it is 36 volumes, very pretty books. Don't know if you can see that. So it's the complete works of Charles Dickens. That's Christmas Stories 2, that one there. They're all in really nice condition. Again, it's kind of thing, somebody's bought it as a set, it's been stuck away, it's been on a shelf. Heron Books did this one, and it is in really good nick all the way through. And having a wee look, selling price for that set of 36, £100 to £120. So individually the books aren't worth an awful lot, you know, £2–3 each. There's a lot listed for £6–7 each, but not a lot selling around that kind of price. But as a complete set, there's very few listed as complete sets, and almost as many sold. So again, it could be a wee bit of a long tail, but £100–120 for the lot. So it could be looking at maybe £80 profit off of that entire set, which is quite nice, because even though it's a bit more difficult packing them into a box than it is just wrapping them and chucking them in bubble wrap, it's still not difficult by any stretch of the imagination. They're easy to drop off. If I do them DPD, there's a wee post office where you always get parked right outside, and it's just carrying a box into the counter and back out again. So it's not difficult to ship them from that point of view. Some stuff can be really pain in the backside to ship. If you've got lots of big stuff, none of the wee drop-off points will take it because they don't have the space. But you know, one-offs like that are absolutely fine. So about £80 profit on that. So we're maybe £100–110 profit just from those wee individual pieces. And then I still have all my bread and butter stuff on top of that, and then the stuff that will go into the sets of, you know, 20 of these and 20 of that, etc. And that's what a pickup looks like. So what do I do next with this lot? Well, I get it listed. I'll get all my individual stuff in these little bundles listed up, which again, they're books, so it really doesn't take long. The photo setup is straightforward, and it's kind of one size fits all for the most part. The Dickens will need to do something a little bit different, but for everything else, it's one setup, covers all of these items. Then I will reorganise all my bread and butters, because I've got a few of those here as well from previous pickups. I don't list them as soon as I get them all the time. I wait until I've got a few by the same author, and then go in and update that listing. It's much quicker, you know, a lot more time, therefore cost effective. If you wait until you've got 5–10 books by one author, you can go in and go ping. Every time you pick one up, you go in and list it, it's going to take you 10 times longer to do all of that. So yeah, I'll be organising through those, working out which ones of those I want to get listed just now, and the rest go into their author stacks, author shelves, until there's enough of them to justify doing that piece. The other stuff that just goes into the generals will go into the stack of kids books, the stack of thrillers, the stack of women's fiction, the stack of historical fiction, wherever they fit, and they will sit there until they got to, as I sail through those lots. And that's it. So some quite nice items today. Like I say, I really like that because it's far and best Jack Reacher book. The most intellectual, the cleverest story. After that, he just became a rager. It slowly slipped. But yeah, that's probably my favourite of the day. Although I did like the vintage Dr. Seuss. I will need to double check that this isn't one that gets you banned from anything. I don't remember ever seeing it on any of the lists. And unfortunately, it's not the most popular of Dr. Seuss books. But, as it is, 1962. And that 1962, that makes that 62 years old. Well, could be 63 now, depending when it was actually went onto a shelf. But yeah, crazy to think that book is 62 years old and it's still in pretty darn good condition. So yeah, those are the good things. That's what I need to go and do next. How much of that will I do today? I don't know. It's Sunday. Probably not that much, to be honest. I'll save a lot of it for tomorrow. Although I do always like to get a couple of little things listed, and obviously I need to sort stuff out to make sure I've got space to do other things as are needed. But for now, I am going to go and go to shops, get some for dinner, come back, maybe have a cup of coffee, sit in my backside, and watch a bit of football. Alright, anyway, thanks for watching as ever. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I shall see you tomorrow.